Hello, welcome to Python with Obinkujo. So I'll be using this opportunity to help each and every one of us get our platforms or our laptops ready for the program. So we'll be installing Anaconda, and then through Anaconda we'll be able to launch our Jupyter notebook. These are the major tools that I'll be using along. So let's just go ahead and then let me show you how it's done. So go to open any browser, then just type Anaconda download. You can click on the very first link that says anaconda.com. That is okay. So click on that and you would find this icon here that says get additional installer. Just click on that and it takes you to the bottom of the page. You can actually scroll, it's just the bottom of the page. Here you'll be able to find OS specific. So we have that for an installer for Windows, an installer for Mac, and then an installer for Linux. So just to download, just click on that and it will start to download. Because I have that already installed, I have that already downloaded, I'll just end this download. For those of you using Mac and Linux, I would advise that you download the very first installer within the list. The reason is that it has similar interface to what I'm about showing you. Now that we have it downloaded, let's head to our downloads folder and then locate the installer. So that is mine. So I just double click on that to launch the installer. I think I can minimize this for now. So on this page, just click on next, click on agree, select just me, click on next. Click on next, unless you would want to save it in a specific folder, but I would advise that you leave it at the default directory. So let's click on next, and at this point, this is where I would want to give a little bit of explanation. If it's your very first time of installing Python, I would advise that you just go ahead and then check this one. It will say not recommended, but I would explain that later. Go ahead and check it. If you are a Python user, if you are someone who is already experienced and you have your own environment, you can decide to uncheck it and then move on. But for the purpose of this training, if you are okay, I would advise that you just check this and then you click on install from this point. So this is going to take a while, and I will just fast track it. I will just fast forward it, and when it is ready, I will get to you. Now, just a quick one, I would advise that you do this installation over the internet. The reason is that when you do it over the internet, if there are new libraries and packages, it will be able to download and then integrate them to your Anaconda navigator setup. Alright, so now we have our installation. It's completed, so we just go ahead and then click on next. And now at this stage you would see code in the cloud with Anaconda notebooks. So if Anaconda does not support your laptop, your current version, your version of OS, you can just go ahead and then click on this. What this does is that it allows you to be able to run Jupyter and Anaconda in the cloud. The downside is that you would have to have internet access all the time to be able to do that. If everything is good, you can just go ahead and then click on next. And I will just uncheck this for now and I'll say finish. So to launch Anaconda, just click on start. The usual way we launch apps, type Anaconda and you would find Anaconda Navigator. Just click on that and it will launch. The moment of truth, let's just wait for a while as we launch our Anaconda platform. So that is that. Let me just close that. It's going to take a while to load. So that is our interface. If you happen to see any pop-up, I would advise that you just go ahead and then close that. So these are the various environments that we can use within Anaconda. So a lot of it, those of you who are used to AWS, so if you happen to see this, just go ahead and then close it. So this is how the Anaconda platform looks like. We'll later on go on through these environments. There are a lot of them that we can actually add to the homepage, but for now we'll just stick to this this sector of the application, and our interest is going to be on this, that is Jupyter Notebook. This is a latest version. This was not initially here. It's Jupyter Lab. It's very similar to Jupyter Notebook, but Jupyter Notebook is what is really popular within the field, so that is what we're going to use. So to launch Jupyter Notebook, you just click on that. For your information, Jupyter Notebook makes use of a web browser. Just to clarify that you don't actually need internet to launch the Jupyter Notebook, but whenever you launch Jupyter Notebook, it's going to make use of your default web browser. I would advise that you use Chrome if possible. So let's click on launch Jupyter Notebook and let's see what happens. Alright, so that is our Jupyter Notebook environment. So what you see in here is nothing, just a directory. It's a folder. So this is showing our root folder and all the subfolders that are within the root folder. If I come here and then I click, if I open this folder, what's happening? If I click on that and then I come to this PC, you would realize that it's the same file. Some are hidden, so that is why. So you can see desktop, it is here, document is there, pictures is also there, videos is also there, so it's the same thing. So in Jupyter Notebook, to create a folder, at this point you can decide as to where you would want to save all your Python files. Alright, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to save all my Python files within my docs folder. So I'll just select a document, and then within the document folder I'm going to create a new folder. So I'll come to the top right corner, click on new, then I'll come to folder, and you realize that there is a new untitled folder that was created seconds ago. So to rename this, I can just check this box and I can click on rename, and let me call this Python files, and then I'll just say rename, and I have it here. So when I navigate to my folder and I go to document, I'm supposed to see Python file. So that is what I just did. Now to create a Jupyter Notebook, you just have to open the folder in which you would want to create the Jupyter Notebook. So you come in here, let's click on that, and then it says the notebook list is empty. So to create a new notebook, you just click on new, and then you come to Python 3 ipykernel. So ipykernel, if the moment I click on this, it is going to launch another tab, and that is going to be my Jupyter Notebook. Along the line, we're going to see why it's so important for us to have to use Jupyter Notebook in our lesson. So we have everything set. Now if I run my command prompt, cmd, forget about this, if I type in python version, it's going to give me the version of Python that is installed, and that is the current one that came with Anaconda. So I can just clear this. Let me just close it. Alright, so here this is what we'll be using. So this we call these cells. We'll be learning much about it later on. So let us try to see if it's working. Let me just do 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1, and then I press shift enter, and then it gives me the output as 2. Let's just try let's just try anything. Let's say name, and then let me say it's equal to obeying, and then let me press shift enter, then let me just type name to see what it contains, and that is working. If I do type name and shift enter, it says str. We'll go into those things later on. So this tells that everything is working. So at this point, I'll sign out here and then we'll get back in touch later on. Thank you.